Having returned to Marvin and had been informed about Leon arriving at the station, Claire made sure that the lieutenant was comfortable before taking off for the courtyard, climbing the stairs into the main hall and heading down the east passage. She entered a reception room, presumably for the chief, and whose office she recalled Chris telling her that he was down the hall past the receptionist. Just as she was about to unlock the door with the spade key, she noticed a safe behind the desk. Of course, she didn't have the passcode required to open it, as she was certainly not a code breaker, but maybe Ray could help blast it open. "Hey Ray, do you think you can get the safe open with your fire?" she asked with her spear within. "Possibly. If you concentrate on my energy on the locked door or the door's hinges, I might be able to melt them off." Claire nodded before kneeling down in front of the safe. Heating up one of her hands, she began to trail her fingers along the metal and watched in fascination as the hinges began to melt away. "Cool," she grimaced. The safe door fell off as the metal melted. Inside, she found some bullets and a handgun part. An extended clip for the model she didn't own, but she wanted for a while. A police model was of the Browning of high power. Were "Aces, what a find!" She quickly snatched the contents inside and stored the bullets into her pouch. She then looked at the parts she acquired. "Looks like a part for Browning HP, if my memory serves. Thank God Chris saved me those gun lessons," she said. "I'll try and find the gun, and if there's one place I know where it could be, it's the armory. That's if it hasn't been snatched up already during the previous chaos. It's possible the cops may have emptied the armory defending the station. You shouldn't have asked Marvin earlier. With that being said, Stars also have separate armory, but you'll need a special key to access it, and only Barry knows how to open it. Damn it, well, it's time to go on a scavenger hunt then. The key has to be somewhere in the station," Claire said with an annoyed groan. Well, of course Barry would have had the sense to leave the spare keys around. Any event of any Stars officers lost their key, but you should find Leon first. You'll need his help to explore the building this large. As an officer himself, he'll be more knowledgeable for the station than you. "That's true, since I'm a civvy according to Chris. I wasn't really allowed much of the station unless he was with me," Claire nodded, as she began to make her way towards where Leon was waiting. She left the reception desk and was going to follow the corridor around to the courtyard, but the door of the corner of the wall attracted her attention, so she walked over and entered it. It was a large storage room for various items that looked like they were part of the station when it was still a museum. There was a brochure of the chair detailing the conversation of the museum run into the police station, and even a story about one of the museum's more priceless artifacts. A virgin heart, the blood-red gem about the size of a fist. The brochure also warned about the dangers of people becoming obsessed with it. Next to the chair on the box was a key card, clearly labeled Weapons Locker. This must have been used to open the station's armory. But what was in there? She picked it up and pocketed it. Only on the far side of the room was a statue of a very old man wearing a crown. Its arm had been removed and was laying down on the desk next to it. The other arm was holding a receptor that contained the gem of the brochure was spoke of. Try as she might, she couldn't remove the scepter from the statue's grip. However, it seemed to be operated by something, and she noticed its hand was mechanical. "Damn, I guess we'll need to find something to get this thing to move. Any ideas, Ray?" Claire asked, rubbing her chin in thought. "Looks like we'll need to find an arm or whatever else it's supposed to have." "The arm is there on the desk. Its slots are in the statue, but it appears to be holding something which is not here. It must be elsewhere. Perhaps you could find a photo or something that will show you what you need." "Good idea. Let's leave the arm for now and come back when we found them. Judging by the grip of the hand, it's something slender and rectangular. Looked like a book or something." Claire nodded. Unbeknownst to her, she had already seen and passed the item in question, but she didn't seem to remember doing so. So for now, she left the storage room and went back to the corridor. She was going to the courtyard, but again decided to detour, choosing up the evidence room to the other side of the station, so she could use the key card she found to get a stronger weapon, if there were any left. She unlocked the west office door of the main hall, passing by Marvin, who was still watching the cameras on the computer monitor. Passing through the west office, she encountered the evidence room opposite of the side of the office door. It was a small locker room that she assumed contained items penetrating the cases. Most of the lockers were empty, and the ones that weren't locked, the keypad had opened them to a missing couple keys, unfortunately. At the back of the room with the armory that should have contained the weaponry the officers would use in emergency. The only weapon still remained was a short-edged, sawed-off M79 grenade launcher, modified to fire tear gas projectiles. However, this model appeared to have remodified as to launch actual explosives. She opened the cage with the keycard and grabbed it. There was one pack of flame rounds in it, and left the gun loaded with the flame round. She then looked strapped over her shoulder. Excellent. Now you have a real weapon to protect yourself from the zombies. That pea shooter you're carrying is only going to be useful for so long. Claire nodded in reply as she looked at the grenade launcher with a grin. Maybe it was her brother's knack for explosive weapons, but she loved the feeling of it in her hands. Let's see if those lickers can try and get me now. Don't get too cocky. Overconfidence kills more cops than criminals. Claire nodded and then took a calming breath. I should be getting to Leon now, she told herself, leaving the room and finally heading towards the courtyard from the second floor. When she got back to the corridor and past the receptionist, she opened the door and walked down the corridor to the mesh gate at the end. Before she got there, she heard a helicopter rapidly approaching. And then, the building shook, and she nearly lost her footing as the chopper she had heard slamming against the building, blocking off the corridor. She went outside to get a closer look at the crash landing, and noticed how the pilot was clearly dead. The smashed-up vehicle sparked dangerously. "Claire?" A voice from the ground below called up as the over-thundering rain pouring down on them. She looked and saw Leon standing by the courtyard gate, Luna tucked safely in his jacket. "Leon!" Claire called back, relief in her voice. She hurried down the stairs and headed towards the locked gate. "Hey, you're all right." "Same to you, Claire." Luna smiled as Claire reached down for the bars, giving her some comforting pets on the head. "Are you all right? The helicopter just came out of nowhere," Leon asked, worried that she might have been injured from being so close to the crash. "I'm fine, Leon. I just didn't get close enough to get hurt. It's good to see your face again, though," she replied cheerfully, generally happy to see him. "That's good. I was worried for a moment there. I don't suppose you have the key to open this gate?" He asked her a question in return. "Fortunately, no, but maybe we could find one nearby." But then she remembered. "Wait, I got an idea." She focused down on the lock and then focused on her magic. "Ray helped me out," she whispered, and Luna's ears perked up hearing the name. "Mars?" Luna whispered back in shock. But Claire's attempt to melt the lock had failed. The rain was coming down so hard and was cooling the metal faster than she could heat it. "Damn it." "Relax, Claire. I'll try and find a key. There is one in the maintenance shed that I just passed, but I couldn't get it open because someone bolted it. These bolt cutters I just found won't help me get inside. There's probably a spare key in there. Wait here, and I'll be right back," Leon said, taking off the back down the path. Claire nodded and watched as Leon left, but then she felt the warmth from Ray. "What's up, Ray? Did you recognize Luna?" "Yes and no. Luna is the Princess Serena's cat, but if you'd known her as a Usagi, Serena's last known human form. When Leon stood close to us, I could feel some of Usagi's presence. I may be wrong, but I think she's watching him. She may chose him as her host." Claire and Ray conversed by the gate. Leon rushed back to the shed to under the bridge, with the bolt cutters in hand. "All right, now I can get inside," he said to himself, cutting off the chains that keeping the door sealed. Inside, he found a set of lockers. One contained an officer's uniform and some ammo. A key hung over the locker, and there was a corpse on the floor by the chest. Fortunately, this one appeared to be dead and not merely dormant. He pocketed ammo and took the keys and began to strip off the wet street's clothes, change it into the uniform in the locker. It fit him perfectly, as if it were made for him. He checked the locker door, only to find his name engraved in it. Figures, he smirked to himself, before thinking that he had survived, and then sighed deeply. This is not how I imagined breaking this in. Luna looked up at him sympathetically, before hopping into his arms, nuzzling him in comfort. I know, Leon, this horrible deed, she said solemnly, but there is a light to our situation. Claire, she and Ray, Sailor Mars is here. So it's true, the soldiers exist, and they're searching for people pure enough to possess, to become some new protectors of Earth, Leon pondered. I'm not that surprised that one of them chose Claire. From what I have been able to tell with being her, she's a good girl with a heart of gold, and I can hear her a bit wild as a child, but which fits Ray's fiery personality. Luna smiled at that and nodded. Ray always did have a good temper on her, although it was rare, but Claire is a perfect fit. When Luna first came across Leon, she was being attacked by alley dogs, only for Leon to drive him off and take her back home with her to help her heal. At first, Leon believed that someone tattooed the crescent moon onto her forehead and tried to clean it off, only to see it remained there. It was when Luna revealed that she could speak after Leon's suspicions of her being a normal cat. Judging from the unnatural smarts she displayed first, being an animal person, Leon was easily able to tell many of Luna's actions and reactions were not that typical of felines. It made him highly suspicious of her, leading her to eventually speaking for the first time. He was less surprised to learn that she was Sailor Moon's cat, that she was able to speak, to which Luna was very surprised that she knew who she used to belong to. That was when Leon dropped the bombshell on her. His family that came in the magic line, much like the Redfields. His mother was a witch, but his father was a normal human and a former police officer for the RPD. He also mentioned that he learned his mother was royalty, but didn't even know from where. Needless to say, Luna knew she and Leon had been fated to meet, and that she was glad she did. If there was one person she knew without a shadow of a doubt, Usagi would find a perfect fit. It would be him, although he'd said it was nothing special. Luna felt that she was being the moodist, saving her from dogs from being gifted with magic thanks to his mother, and endowed him with his true sense of justice and lack of fear of helping others in need. Luna had a strong feeling her old friend and princess would find him more enough for her. After Leon finally suited up, just strapping on his elbow pads, he left the shed and returned to the gate. Claire's eyes widened as she saw him, and her jaw practically dropped. Whoa, look at you, Leon. You're looking badass there, she grinned. Did you find the key? He was glad that the darkness and the rain prevented him from seeing slightly blushing. He could tell that she was attracted to him. Good you're still here. I have the key and I found my gear too, he said, pulling out the key from his pocket and unlocking the gate. Hey, you look really good in that uniform. You have anything useful in those fancy pockets of yours? Claire shamishly flirted, her tomboyish attitude shining through. Leon nervously chuckled. Sorry, no, just ammo for our handguns. It's really good to see you all right, though, he replied to her, trying very hard not to blush at the comments. Before she could flirt more, the helicopter exploded and burst into flames, setting off the station's fire suppression system on and the emergency alarm bells. Shit, that's the dinner bell for them, Claire hissed, before she heard moans of the undead around them. We should move. It's not safe here. Come on. He took the bolt cutters that he had and cut open the chains on the door next to them, so they can get back inside. Claire searched for her radio and attempted to contact Marvin. Marvin, we got a big problem. We're surrounded by zombies. Can you hear me? Respond, Marvin! But there was no response. Damn it, this is bad, she worriedly said. Ray, can you sense anything from him and where we are? The windows near them smashed and the undead began to pour through them. Leon grabbed Claire's hand and pulled her away. No time for that. We need to go now. He practically dragged her down the hall back to the main hall, but they were accosted by the zombies breaking in and out of the nearby room and blocking their path. Shit, time to fight, he said, pulling his H&K VP-70 and putting out a few rounds in them. Couldn't you let us go, could ya? Claire barked as she used her grenade launcher, turning a few more of the flaming mush into a fiery explosion of blood and gibs. Where the hell did you get a grenade launcher? Leon exclaimed, surprised by her move. The weapons locker. I found it. It was the only weapon left, but that's all not I can do. Claire smirked as she turned to the remaining group of zombies, shambling towards them. Remember not to waste much power. I will help this time, but not every time. I know, she nodded, concentrating on her magic once more, her hands bursting into flames again. Mars, fire, ignite! A fume of red-hot flames shot out from her palms like a flamethrower, incinerated the undead, melting them down into steaming pieces of gloop. Impressive. Remind me not to get on your bad side, Leon practically praised. Let's just say I found a friend here to help out. Claire grinned back at him before pulling out her grenade launcher again and began to blast the last of the zombies to bits. So Luna was right about finding Mars. Who knows what else was lingering around the station? If his companion was right about Usagi trying to find someone, perhaps. Moving on and re-entering the main hall through the busted shutter, Claire immediately went towards the good goddess statue in the middle to check on Marvin. He was lying down on the bench and looked dead, but when he got closer he called his name. He suddenly came to life, holding his stomach in pain as the bite hit him again. Ugh, he audibly grunted, then lay back down again. At least the lieutenant is still alive, Leon commented as he walked over to Claire, who had a look of sorrow on her face. So many dead or dying, or for what? Marvin, how are you holding up? Claire asked as she went to check on him. She could see that he was still losing blood. Maybe she could use her fire to cauterize the wound. Leon took her hand and held her back. When she looked at him, he grimly shook his head. He's too far gone. You could see in his face. There's nothing you could do for him, he whispered to her, as to not allow Marvin to overhear him. Still, Leon at least I can help stop the bleeding. I hate to see him like this, Claire whispered back, almost pleadingly to her heart. She knew he was right. She still wanted to help anyway. It's pointless. Leave him in peace. We should go. Hey, what's with this statue? I've never noticed the indications here before, Leon added, changing the subject and dragging Claire's attention away from the wounded officer. Claire walked over with him. Hold up. I think I know what this is. She dug out her journal she got from Elliot and flipped it open. He said this was the way out, and I think we need 3 medallions to open it. I have one right here. She removed the maiden medal from the pack and placed it on her slots. The statue moved and some kind of lower portion slid away, revealing bars behind the base plate. Ugh, so Elliot was right, Marvin weakly stated behind him, proving that he was listening practically. Looks that way, but we need the others so we can get through, Lieutenant. Are you going to be all right here? Leon questioned. Forget about me. Just save yourselves. You know it's too late for me. Just do what you need to do and get the hell out of here, Marvin replied, refusing assistance. Leon sighed and took Claire's hand. Come on, we should find the rest of the medals. Claire frowned, but before leaving with Leon, she hated having to leave Marvin behind like this. But Leon was right. There was nothing they could do for him now. She felt Ray just give her a medal part of comfort. I know you didn't want to hear this, Claire, but this is war now. Sacrifices must be made. Marvin is already dead. We can't save him. What is killing him? Claire nodded with a sigh as she continued to follow Leon down the hall. Luna was watching the interaction as her ears drooped at the sight of Marvin's condition. Fighting the Nega moon seemed to be simple back then. There's just a statue above the main hall with the medal. It's the lion statue. There's a unicorn statue with the last medal on the second floor. Behind the library, it can also be accessed from the main hall, leading towards the Star's office. If the hall is blocked, we might be able to get through the showers. The wall is weak and they may connect to each other. Destroying the wall could give us access, Leon explained to Claire, revealing his knowledge about the station. Got it, let's grab the lion statue first, and then we can head for the library and get the last medal there. All right, he replied, walking up the stairs and behind the goddess statue, where Leon's statue had been placed. We'll have to figure out a puzzle to release it. Maybe Elliot's notebook has the code. Let me look. She flipped through the book and smiled when she saw the exact code for it scribbled on the page. Aha, there it is. Try that. She showed the journal to Leon so he could get to work on it. A moment later, he opened the seal and retrieved the lion medal. Got it. Now we need to go around the bottom floor past the evidence room. We need to get to the Star's office and check the armory. If there's anything left, we'll need the firepower. She nodded in return. Luna took the medallion in her mouth and hopped it down the goddess statue. With her paws, she fit in the second hole. Got it, Luna called up to them. A part of the statue's base slid away, revealing the entrance, but it was blocked by bars. Let's go to the west office, so we don't have to take the long way around, Leon stated. If you know if things were normal, I would have stationed here, he said, as he sped his desk upon entering the cave. Claire had left the locks on it. What's with the locks? She asked, picking up the note and reading it. Nice going, Luna. 2 down, 1 to go. Claire grinned as Luna scurried back towards them and made their way downstairs. I see. So Marvin left this. Poor bastard. He sighed again and opened the locks, working out the puzzle like the other officer had set for him. Inside the weapon parts, a stabilizer for his VP-70, and a speed loader for his revolver that looked like it would fit Claire's. Here, take this. You might be able to use it, he said, handing it to her. Thanks. She took the speed loader and stored it in her pouch. I could use this for later in case if we get in the situation like back upstairs. I'd use it now if you don't want to get caught in a group of them, and having to reload 1 bullet at a time. You'll be killed before getting to fire again. Trust me. Revolvers are freaking slow to reload. Yeah, Claire nodded in agreement. Anything else we could find here before we moved on? There's a safe by Marvin's desk that is over in the office there. If you haven't already opened it, might be something useful inside, Leon suggested. I haven't yet. Let's go check it out, Claire said, before jogging into the room holding behind the desk. Just like in the receptionist's room upstairs, on the east side, there was a block next to the safe. It was locked, and neither she or Leon had the code. Ray knew this and accordingly acted, heating up Claire's hands again. Watch this, Leon. Ready, Ray? Allow me. Claire then placed the hands on the hinges, and they began to melt down from the heat. The door fell off and revealed its contents: a shotgun and a bunch of shells, a map of the station, and inside the side pack. Leon took the shotgun and shells. Groovy, he stated, before making a rather acceptable move of reference. Claire had heard this from Chris that Leon was the kind of guy to make such quips. She playfully groaned and rolled her eyes before taking the map and taking the side pack for extra storage space. Right now we have a clear view of where we need to go, Claire said and nodded in approval as she scanned the floors. You'll only see what if you get separated from me. I'm pretty familiar with this station. Let's go to the staircase by the dark room and head upstairs. We can get to the locker room showers just off the 2nd floor, Leon informed her. All right, lead the way, officer, Claire teased him, allowing him to take point. He slapped her arm playfully, grinning at her as they walked out via office door, and as they did so, he suddenly stopped and held up his hand to stop her. Around the corner and breaking the silence, they could hear something scratching the ceiling. It was very distinctive. Something's coming. Down the hall, she whispered. I know what that is. Let's just say my friend and I already had met this thing, Claire whispered with dread in her voice. Lickers. There is one down here, moving slowly up and quietly. The creatures are blind, but their hearing is enhanced. If you don't make noise, you should be able to avoid it. Move slow and don't make a sound. It doesn't have eyes and it relies on its hearing to find its prey, Claire whispered to him. Gotcha. I'll be careful, Leon nodded, sneaking forward and doing his best not to make too much noise. Then he had an idea. Taking an empty magazine from his gun, he tossed it back the way they came. Hitting the drink machine, it made a loud clang and annoyed the liquor, which screeched and dived in towards the machine. "Go now," he whispered quietly. All three of them scurried away from the liquor before he had a chance to realize it was a ruse. "That was a clever move, Leon. Distractions are a good way to avoid creatures." "I'm impressed." Leon did not simply reply, but he could not hear her. He briefly felt as if someone had placed a hand on his shoulder. He assumed it was Claire and ignored it, going up the stairs to the next floor. Ascending the stairs and arriving on the second floor, the trio had breathed a sigh of relief. "That was close," Claire said, and she knew that once they were out of hearing range. "Is that the only creature in there? Please tell me there aren't more of those. Did you see the size of those claws?" "Jesus!" Leon exclaimed. "Tell me about it," Leon nodded in agreement. "Anyway, we should keep moving before anything else shows up," he said, pushing open a door and entering the locker room. Immediately both he and Claire were assaulted by the heat and the scent of the hot water. Someone had left one of the showers running, and it practically steamed up the room. The steam might have also contributed to the busted pipe that was emitted steam from the front entry of the showers. A valve handle was missing from the pipe. Beyond it, they could see someone already destroyed the connecting wall. "Damn, we'll have to find another handle to shut this steam off," Claire groaned. "Don't worry about that. I've got a solution," Leon replied with a smirk. He pulled a wrench from his back pocket, and he smacked the pipe repeatedly, denting it with each hit. With another few solid racks, he crushed up the pipe and blocked the flow of steam. "We should move on now, before the buildup of this heat causes an explosion," he warned. Claire nodded before jogging ahead of Leon, making sure they were not to run into any more liquors along the way. Zombies she could handle, but those fucking hissing assholes, just the thought of them already made her squirm. They passed through the showers quickly, not wanting for the pipes to blow. The corpses slid off the bench in the woman's locker room, but it did not come to life, much to Claire's relief. She was more skittish than the undead than Leon was. Call it nerves. Outside of the locker room, though, she heard yet another liquor encounter, sucking blood from the dead officer near a broken window in front of the Star's office. Rain had poured in through the window, soaking the floor and building up a large puddle. "Damn it, another wall-crawling bastard. Let me handle this one," Leon whispered, unclipping his flash grenade from his belt and reloading his shotgun with his other hand. He snuck up close to the liquor and flicked the pin of the grenade. He dropped it and covered his eyes, which followed by a loud bang of a flash of light. The sound confused the liquor and it fell off the ceiling, wriggling on the floor. Leon looked at the initiative, shoved the barrel of the shotgun into its hissing mouth and pulled the trigger. Brains and blood flew everywhere as its face exploded. "Sayonara, scumbag." "Nice thinking, Leon," Claire smiled as she high-fived in response. "That was smart thinking on your part. Quick thinking will save your life, both an officer and a civilian, since these things are so sensitive and loud. It seems like a good idea. Hopefully there aren't any more of those things. I don't have to worry about any more flash grenades," he replied. "Let's keep going. I hope that ruckus didn't attract any more of attention that would be good for them to linger about," Claire replied as they kept moving towards the Star's office. Maybe she could find out what happened with her brother and the others. The door was locked. "Well, shit, we're not getting it open," Leon muttered to himself, cursing under his breath. But Claire gave a sly smile. "Not necessarily. I can open it," she smirked at him, removing a paper clip from her pouch, bending it over to particular positions. Before snapping off a piece, she made an improvised lockpick. She then used a lockpick on the door, and after a few moments, there was a click from the lock. "How about that? Where did you learn to pick locks like that?" "They didn't teach me that at the police academy," Leon asked. "I learned it from a friend." She winked before she went inside. Instantly, her smirk dropped into a solemn look. The office looked the way it did before shit hit the fan. Claire looked around with a sad gaze, her arms wrapping around herself. Like time just stopped there. "I remember the last time I was in here. It seemed so peaceful back then. Even more now. It's just dead. I'm not sure what bothers me. The dead silence, or that none of this will be here when it's over," Leon said, rubbing his chin in thought. "Leon, Claire, I can't imagine what you're feeling right now. I know this place has memories of you. Especially you, Claire, Luna spoke up, rubbing against her legs in comfort. I honestly don't know what to say to help either of you. Perhaps it's best if we look around quickly and move on. I don't want to be haunted by the memories and suspect neither of you. He told Claire as he approached the desks. Jill's desks attracted him and took a closer look. Look at this photo. There's a man with Jill here. But it's not Chris. Who could it be? That's her dad, before he got arrested for his crimes at the Cadball burglar. He died in jail sometime later, Claire said. Jill was given the choice, jail time with her father or go to the military. And she chose to join the Delta Force, as I recall. They trained her as an EOD specialist, Luna added. Leon thought, before moving over and looking up at the wall. Your brother left his jacket there. Maybe you should take it with him. Is that his guitar as well? I didn't know he played. Yeah, he was going to teach Alana how to play more intermediate songs once he taught her the basics, Claire said, as Luna wandered into the Wesker's office, wanting to investigate. So this is Wesker's office. Rather organized, this one. Then again, with the military background as well. I'm not surprised, she said. Luna? Huh? Luna's head jerked up at someone calling her name. Who? Luna, is that you? It can't be, Luna gasped. Usagi? That caught Leon and Claire's attention as they came running to the office. Guys, I heard Usagi's voice just now. What? Claire and Leon both exclaimed. I'm here. Get me out of here. I hate the dark. Some jerk put me in there and didn't come back for me. Ugh, the nerve of him. Let's check his desk. Whatever she or is hiding in, it's gotta be in there, Claire urged Leon, who nodded in agreement. Alright, but let's make it quick. We won't be safe here forever, Leon said as he walked over to the enclosed office It was a fairly small, but it had enough space for a desk, a cabinet, and a sofa. Presumably this is where Alana slept while Wesker worked. Looks pretty plain to me. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I tried the drawers, Luna said, before starting to paw at one of them, trying to get it open. Usagi, hang in there. We're getting you out. I missed you so much, Luna. I never thought I'd see you again. Will you stop that? Crying isn't going to help matters, Luna snipped at her as she kept pawing at the drawer that she was working on. Some things don't change, especially with Meatball Head here, Ray scoffed. Ray, is that you? Who else would it be, you big dummy? I'm not a dummy. You're the one who hasn't changed a bit, Ray. I'm guessing you're still the same big mouth before. Is that normal between them? Claire blinked, hearing the whole argument, to which Luna sighed and nodded slowly. Oh boy, only for the three of them to wince when they heard Usagi scream at Ray. Ah! Serena's adult! Serena's dumb! Serena's a crybaby! I'm sick of you labeling me as an idiot! I'm more mature than you! Get real! Then the three walked over, treated Usagi and Ray, butting heads against each other with their tongues sticking out. Judging by the looks of your faces, I am so glad I can't hear any of this shit going on in your head, Claire. Leon frowned, walking between the office and eyeing at the armory. He remembered that Barry had used the computer beneath the TV to access the armory door, so he sat down at the terminal and began to attempt to hack the machine. Oh my god, will you two just shut up? Claire finally yelled, causing the two arguing spirits to suddenly stop. Look, if you girls really care that much for each other, you two wouldn't be fighting like this. Instead, you're arguing like little kids over who called you a first name first. But if you don't mind, I want to get out of here alive. Now pull it together, so help me. You heard her, you dunderhead, Ray insulted. Who are you calling a dunderhead? Usagi bit back at her, causing Claire to groan again and shake her head. And they went at it again. You're just jealous that I found a body first, Ray retorted smugly. I have two, and he's over there, Usagi pointed out, making Claire look up in surprise to Leon. Once you get me out of there, I can join him. Now hurry it up, it's stuffy in there. Him? The male? You must be joking, Usagi. A man can't be a sailor. How long have you been sorting this place of dust? Ray finally said in mid-shock. It is the perfect match, Ray. I could sense it. Usagi smiled, as she now filled the desk drawer finally came open. Finally? You must be high, Usagi. A man, a sailor? No way. They're not clever enough or responsible for your powers, which is saying a lot because you're barely responsible as it is. Ray still couldn't believe what Usagi had said. Was she nuts? She literally had been snorting space dust? As Luna took out what appeared to be a golden palm-sized brooch with a yellow crescent moon on front, the ball of pink light shot out of the bat and slammed into Leon's back, causing him by surprise, but then again his entire body began to glow with pastel pink light. Perfect. I knew he was the one. Ow, what the fuck? Did you just pricks just throwing something at me? What the fuck is wrong with you all? Leon angrily retorted, rubbing his back. But the moon glow began to grow bright, and Leon found himself pulsating with power. Usagi had found her match, smiling to herself as she was hollering, "Moon prism power!" The glow from the blind with the two of them for a moment. When Leon began to transform, his body was merging with Usagi's soul. That would shock when the light finally vanished. No longer in a police uniform, the legendary Sailor Moon now stood before them. Instead of blonde hair, however, it was long, sandy brown locks tied with twin indigo tails. The uniform now consists of a white leotard with a blue collar with two stripes on it, white gloves with free and red arm fittings just that reached the shoulders and elbows, shoulder pads, and a pleated blue skirt with puffy white belt that sat above it, along with the chest armor with a dark pink blow on the top of the back of his belt. She also wore a pair of dark pink knee-high boots with the white border at the triangular top of the pointing upwards with the crescent moons, pearl dangle earrings with the crescent moon beneath, white bordered red color hairpieces, one on each indigo, a choker with the gold crescent moon on it, and a tiara with a red gem on the center. Her brooch was centered within the middle of the chest blow. Then when she spoke, it was Leon's personality, but not his voice. What the fuck did you just do to me? I'm me, but not me. Yes, yes, yes! Ah, take that, Ray! I told ya he fit! Usagi cheered, doing a little victory dance. Oh Christ, I've got you in my head now. That's just great. Now I'm gonna be the one going nuts. Usagi's body spoke with words, but it was her voice. Oh, trust me, Leon. That's what happened to me first time when I first transformed. Luna told me to do this, and well, you see the result now. Terrific. I can't wait to wake up to this every fucking morning, she retorted sarcastically. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.